He's a quiet leader and leads by example. He's someone that all the kids look up to.
And just like that, it pretty much hit me in the chest. And I didn't really think anything of it.
Takes 2.5 steps and face plant. You know, not a catch, not catching yourself, just an absolute face plant.
And it was like a split second. I got super dizzy, and then the next split second, I was just, don't remember anything.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3,
Pete Laake, 2024, close defense at Loyola Blakefield. One of my best friends, his dad played lacrosse. I think that's kind of how I picked it up. Some of the people I met in lacrosse, like my first year, like actually playing, like kind of influenced me to want to play more. My dad played baseball, so that was a tough thing to tell him that I wasn't going to play baseball anymore. And then my mom played volleyball.
I think it was 5th grade when he said, I'm tapping out of baseball, and I tried to convince him to play one more season because it was the year of New York and Cooperstown. And he's like, Dad, I don't want to do it. I go, all right, we're not doing it. So I never played the sport, but have 3 kids that play it, love it. And my wife and I sit at home at times laughing because we're up watching a lacrosse game and the kids have gone off and done their different things, and there we are, the 2 of us, neither of us having played the sport, watching the game.
Yeah, so he was a goalie initially and an attack, right?
Yeah.
Until, was it 7th?
6th grade.
6th grade?
Yep.
Peter didn't make an A-level lacrosse program in the summer in his 6th grade, 6th or 7th. And the guy said he didn't have time to develop him, and we kind of scratched our heads. Said, okay, that's interesting. So he went and played for the B team in Howard County, and Mike Matron coached him. And Mike kind of got that fire and that love rekindled.
So I didn't know him personally. I mean, I knew who he was. I knew about his play. I knew of his accomplishments and how good of a player he was. So I certainly knew who he was as a player, but I did not know him personally.
AJ Larkin and Billy Dewan, who take Peter under their wing as a freshman at Loyola, and they're juniors, and they take him through the next 2 years. And
The people that I met, I feel like I'll know for the rest of my life, if that's Bill, AJ, or even like other friends like Liam, or I could go on and on of just people I feel like I'll have for the rest of my life.
That's the special thing about, I think, a lot of sports, but certainly lacrosse. It's a tight-knit family, and there's always great people that mentor and then, pass it along to the next generations. And, hopefully Peter's done the same for a couple of those freshmen and sophomore at Loyola who are coming along in the same path.
He's a quiet leader and leads by example. He's someone that all the kids look up to.
Like, I don't go screaming and hollering at people, so I'd say I would like to think more as like lead by example.
As I think back over the last 2 years where he's covered everybody's number one, I think one guy's had 2 goals.
That's pretty much, I don't think I've ever had a highlight reel made of me or like in one of those clips, so I would say probably more like fundamental.
When you working here at the school and working specifically with middle schoolers, they all know who he is. They all want to be Peter Laake.
16th, Loyola Blakefield hosting McDonough delivered a typical physical lacrosse game.
Sudden cardiac arrest after a hit on the athletic field. It happened to lacrosse player Peter Laake in 2021 here at Loyola Blakefield.
A routine shot from a McDonough player struck Loyola freshman defenseman Peter Laake directly in the chest.
Peter went into cardiac arrest on the field, not remembering anything until he woke up. It's an experience he and his family will always remember.
And I remember it was a big deal because we were We were supposed to be like really good, and I think we had just lost like maybe 1 or 2 before that. So like we were kind of pumped up, and McDonough's obviously, they had a really good team that year.
A game that quite honestly McDonough was taking us to the woodshed. I forget what the score was, but
they turned the ball over or something like that, and it was a fast break, and I was the 2 slide.
Peter slid off ball. A young man who we all know, McCabe, did something that everybody does in the sport. You step down and taking a shot from maybe 15, 20 yards off a goal. And
the point guy slid, and I rotated up, and just like that, it pretty much shot, hit me in the chest. And I didn't really think anything of it.
We all kind of went, oof. And being it's my kid, I'm not going to scream, eat that, way to eat that, but that's, other people were saying that. And
when I saw him go down, I instantly thought it wasn't good.
The next thing I knew, it was like a split second. I got super dizzy, and then the next split second, I was just, don't remember anything.
Takes 2.5 steps and faceplant. And at the time, you just, that's not right. Not a catch, not catching yourself, just an absolute faceplant. Jeremy Parr, being the unbelievable trainer that he is, and the early recognition is on Peter quickly. And
it was hard. I mean, he was, at that point, he was foaming at the mouth, and he was doing that, I think it's called angular breathing.
So I was really fortunate that they had an AD on the field, and I was lucky enough for the doctors to be there.
Peter's not here if we don't have an AD. It's that simple.
It seemed to last forever, but I guess it was about 3.5 minutes of, just seeing him turn blue and hearing them say, we've lost him, and, and then him popping up and kind of being fine. So, it was crazy. It was really crazy.
Yeah, I remember I tried to sit up a little bit, and they wouldn't let me. And then they asked me a bunch of questions, and I remember just being like, can I go back in now?
Realized how quickly the lacrosse community, how tight it was. Loyola was having a gathering of its players and coaches, and we brought Peter to that event, and man, that was a pretty special day. Just to see the healing in a group of kids that were, I guess, 42 kids on the roster that year. I think the senior class was 22 or 23. And it just, the exhale in the room when Peter walked in was pretty fabulous. Peter was back on the field 2.5 weeks later. And it was really emotional.
I remember, it's kind of a funny story. My first practice back, we were doing some drill, and I mean, this was probably the first 15 minutes of the practice, and somebody shoots and hits me, same spot. And everybody just stopped. I was just like, and I did not speak to very many people as a freshman. I remember just giving a thumbs up, and we just kept going. I shouldn't take for granted, because just like that, my life was in question. Every practice isn't just a practice, it's another time that I get to play. So, I mean, I would say that's a new perspective.
Professional lacrosse player for a week. You got nothing else to worry about but lacrosse. You don't have schoolwork, right? You don't have to show up to classes. You got nothing else to do besides play lacrosse. Have some fun doing it. Listen, we're gonna start Buckeye build up. Got it? Yeah. So let's get to those spots. Get to those spots. Let's go. Let's go. Get there. Get there.
Let's go!
I've had some, played kind of murderer's row to start the year, which is how you get better.
We want to challenge ourselves. We want to have out of conference schedule that's tough. And credit to the schools that we have played, and I think they're all really, really talented teams, well-coached teams, and something that hopefully prepares us for conference play.
Okay, I think that we care about each other. I think that we're pretty good at lacrosse. I know that we can run. Okay, I just don't know how disciplined we are, right, and how mature we are. And we got to snap out of this quickly.
Hey, dazzle three, 1, 2, 3,
yes.
Specifically the Georgetown prep game, I think, that was a game that we felt confident in. We felt like, if we showed up and play, we could compete. And, started off pretty well and then hit a little bit of a lull there, in the third quarter and went down by 3. And but credit to our kids for always fighting. I think that's something that we've realized so far this year, that our kids are always going to give max effort and they're always going to fight to the last whistle. And that's something we sort of preach to them in that game, like, hey, we put ourselves in a tough situation, but we didn't give up. It's season number 2. However you want to slice it, non-conference and now it's conference play, and at this point, right, records are sort of out of the window. That this is the most important game of the year, not because it's first conference game, not because to set the tone, but because it's the next game.
Who are we? Let's go! It's the last opportunity for a lot of dudes in this huddle to go pursue an MIAA championship, right? But don't squander those kind of opportunities, right? Not many guys get the opportunity that you guys get to go pursue, right, the pinnacle of this league. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, guys! Woo!
Our next game is always our most important game. And I think, it's against a tough opponent, it's against a scrappy opponent, it's against someone that's gonna, if we don't show up and play, yeah, it's gonna be really hard. So I think getting our guys in the mindset of ready to compete and treating this as the most important game of the year.
We've talked about this, right? Let's make this day even more special for those seniors, okay? Let's go out there, let's play tough, let's play together, right? and let's do what we're supposed to do. Right? Hey, let's do this together. For the person next to you, right? Love you guys, right? Let's make this a meaningful game. Let's make this one to remember. Sir. Got it? Sir. All right, let's go. Let's get it.
You know, ultimately our goal here as a school, as a program, is to build young men. You know, looking back at the season, if we can look back and say we grew as men and we helped others along the way, that's a success.
What do you want to remember? What are you going to remember about your time here at Loyola?
I would say most of all the people that I've met, just people I feel like I'll have for the rest of my life. Like Coach Dunn influenced me from when I was an 8th grader.
I certainly think there's some DNA to Loyola that's very, very special. You know, being a kid that started there in 6th grade to then graduate, he's got a group of friends that'll be friends for life. You know, we drive in to that school and often stop and look over towards that field and look on that 30-yard line and just in that general area, and you know, certainly think about what could have happened 3 years ago. And the different outcome that could have happened, but it's a special place to us, regardless of the athletics, the education, the Catholic faith, and just a place that wish I had more boys to send there. I'll leave it at that.
And the clock runs out. And the Loyola Dons, in their final home game, defeat their rival Calvert Hall 10-9.